Greetings, ladies and gents, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called Permit Me to Interject, written by ArgusTheCat. You can't, damn it. Okay, no, this wasn't the end of the world. The world, well, this particular world still spun down below the space station deck that I was standing on. The home world, most likely, of a being in front of me, behind an annoyingly solid desk, who had just delivered some pretty annoying news. As far as general statements went, the one thing that no human ever really wants to hear is, you can't. But in this case, I wasn't going to let it get to me, because I had the paperwork on my side. And I was sure this petty bureaucrat could be dealt with. Why not? I asked, as politely and unmurderously as possible. You just can't, repeated the bright green feathered creature, one of its eyes twitching. I filed all the proper papers. Were any of them rejected? No, but you can't. Okay. I know it's rude, but this thing was reminding me of a parrot more than more. Taking a deep breath, I steadied myself. I continued. Were my permit applications not properly filed? They were, but yes, I can't. Yes, I get that. I pushed my glasses up to run a hand across my face before pressing on. But since you won't tell me why, I'm going to have to keep guessing. Was there any kind of biological problem? The toxicology report. Now, it was his turn to cut me off. He was fine, but you can't. A problem with my suppliers, shipping permits, all fine, but I can't, right. I stood up, out of the chair, and started pacing, thinking, okay. So the paperwork was filed properly, the safety reports check out, the merchant documentation is fine, and all my permits were approved, except for this final one. The one upon which all things hinges, which you're telling me is not. So, wait, is there a way that you're asking me for a bribe? Stars, man, your culture has an annoying long-winded way of getting corrupt. I learned two things in quick succession. One, this is not his way of asking for a bribe. And two, when this species got angry, their feathers stood almost straight up, and they squawked. Oh, this was totally apparent in my head now. I am not demanding money. This is far more important than simple credits. I am telling you that you cannot. At this point, I may have let my anger start to get away from me. My tone of voice escalated steadily as I yelled back. I don't give two damns what you're telling me. I want to know what you're not telling me. I'm not leaving your fecking office until you give me a reason why I'm being denied. Because you're human. What? The parrot panted after our yelling match, frantically looking around for an exit or perhaps. No, really what? Racism wasn't, gone or anything, but it's usually not so bad that station administrator denies a permit to someone because their species is overtly. Come on. I slumped back down in the chair. You're telling me that all of this trouble, all of this paperwork, all of this bullcrap comes down to my genetics and my home world. I'm not allowed because I'm human, great. I couldn't help but laugh a bit at that. No, the administrator caught his breath and was trying to recover the conversation a bit. I didn't mean that you're not allowed. I cocked an eyebrow at him, controlling my laughter for a bit to motion for him to continue. I mean that you can't. Okay. The translator has got to be broken. We are both speaking Rigel. Oh, damn. Could you just explain it, please? Why can't I? You humans, you are not the first. You don't understand. You come here finding paperwork and asking permissions to do this, and you forget that you are greatness. Your people have built empires, multiple. You have destroyed whole systems, stars even. Humans have built the great Dyson spheres that so many are migrating to even now. You seek immortality. You find great adventures. You create art and law and brightness in the universe. And now you come here. And you simply ask permission for this? The thought of it is insulting. So I say to you that you cannot. We sat in silence for a minute while I processed that, and he got his feathers under control. As he took a breath, probably to either apologize or yell more, I spoke a thought that drifted through my mind. Dignitas. He tilted his head as I cut him off with the old word, and now it was his turn to ask, what? Dignitas. It was an old term from an old empire on Earth. They had this idea that once a man had attained a station in life, it was, an insult to their dignity to ever accept a position lower than that. A general could not go back to being a lieutenant, and a senator could not become a scribe. Yes, you understand. Well, yeah, but, Rome burned. Humanity kept going. Their ideas are memorable, but seriously, you can't expect every human all the time to go around saving damsels in distress and blowing up stars. That would be a fecking disaster for one thing, unsustainable for another. But your people, they will look down on you for this. So many will see you and think less for your species. Man, come on. I'm not the public relations director for 18 trillion humans. Our public image is backed up by the Red Cross, the Galactic Engineering Society, and about 400,000 battleships. They don't need me to go, fight space pirates or whatever, to keep looking good. But this stoops so low to abandon all that your people have done. Not abandoning anything. I'm upholding centuries of my own personal family tradition in the best way I know how. And humanity has a long, long history of love for this particular art. Now, can we please finish the paperwork? Just stamp that approved, and I'll be on my way. And I'll even give you a discount if you drop by sometime to try my craft, okay? He shook his head, eyes still twitching, though a bit less now. Was that a tell for his species? I'd have to find out, but with a slow resignation, he finally did approve the paperwork and hit the confirmation button on his terminal. Very well. I won't pretend to understand how humans view the universe anymore, but if I can't convince you, I suppose I'll have to allow it. He made a strange squeaking sound that my implant told me was akin to a chuckle. And when you set up, I'll be your first to come to try your, what was it again? It's a classic Earth dish. I'm opening up a ramen shop. Story number 2. Just like that, written by LgFatherAnthrocite. Two men sit in a small room, on a well-used but still serviceable couch. On the opposite wall from the couch is a wall-mounted screen. On the screen, a video service is playing a movie about how to machine some metal part or another. The two men sit quietly and watch. When the video is over, one of the men points to a small device at the screen where a list of video suggestions is listed. After a minute of scrolling, he selects a video, which begins playing. The two men barely speak, only the occasional go back one or oh yeah. After several hours, there was finally a bit of activity. Lunch? Mexican? Chinese? Good call. Usual? Yep. Then they placed an order on the datanet and went back to watching instructional videos. The food arrived and the two men sorted out the food. The two began eating and started watching another how-to video. We observed them for many cycles. They sit and watch videos and order food. Almost all their free time is spent this way. They rarely speak, and the conversations they do have are almost always truncated. We were told that this was an average friend grouping. The idea that humans would spend so much time doing practically nothing is almost inconceivable. The utter lack of meaningful communication was, frankly, concerning. These two men spent 10 to 12 local hours barely speaking on numerous occasions. We decided to continue watching them. After almost 4 months, we were about to cease observations. But then, something happened. The weather had changed to be warmer. Apparently, this was an Earth phenomenon known as spring. With the warming of the environment, the two men stopped watching videos and began to work on projects in their makeshift workshop. They were now conversing about processes and techniques to accomplish their goals. They would discuss which project they would start work on next. Occasionally, one would pull up a video on their compad to refresh themselves on a technical detail or aspect of a project. This was the clue that had finally revealed what we were witnessing. These men had spent 4 months learning everything they could about the things they wanted to do, while they were confined indoors due to weather. When they were once again able to go outside, the pair engaged in cooperative building and manufacturing as a hobby. While the communication was more abundant, it pertained almost solely to the work at hand. When asked about this, a human colleague stated that we should find out how long the pair had been friends. We told the human colleague that the pair had been friends bonded for 25 local annums. Yeah, that makes sense. They've been friends for so long they don't need to talk anymore. They just enjoy each other's company and have very similar interests. As a result, they don't feel any pressure to make conversation and have formed a sort of personal shorthand to communicate. They are a standard friend pairing, or whatever you call it. They're just a bad set of subjects for this type of study. They could probably sit next to each other all day and saying and doing nothing, and think that it was the best day they had in a while. Some humans are just, like that. End of story. I'd quickly like to thank the T5 peeps: Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Bushmaster 177, Henry the Red, Caspar Arnholtz, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Elijah Silvercross, Dragzoon WRE, and Severin Cerberus. Thank you very much.